Okay, cool. Thanks, guys.
Who's he? Well, he is. Who's he? Why, he is. That's a line on the
He smells Japanese food. Yes.
Come. Survive by using yours. 24 plates.
Oh, you're reneging? What was the original deal?
35.
He's just said 35, and you are now just...
Because it makes a fair deal. It makes
Ren, you shouldn't have said deal so quick, because then it felt like he was getting cheated. So you should say, well, I don't know. Okay, let's shake on it.
But it's a good deal, that's
I know. Well, that's why you shouldn't have been so eager. You should have shown like, well, maybe it's not. Now that it's a good deal for you, he thinks it might not be a good deal for him.
Okay, so I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, reverse psychology, Ren. You should know that.
Fine, 35 because I got 2 Blaze mob spawners.
Good. 64. Maybe we can grab some more.
Okay, let's go, guys.
That right.
Box, she doesn't spin, but she goes.
Yeah, it's Blaze and Blaze.
Okay. So do you know how to do a pulley rein if you need to? Like to put your hand down in the neck and then one hand hard?
I do that, but I do it 2 hands. I go like this and pull it in so she goes in the center.
Okay. Okay. A circle's not always the best because sometimes they can slip. So we'll just review that. You probably, most likely won't need it, but it's good to know just in case. Okay, lift your leg up, girl. So let me show you the right way to do it on this side. So you're gonna keep your foot in. This is for safety purposes. You're gonna turn your knee out. Okay, like this, good.
Oh,
and then you're gonna lift up. Yeah, make sure you grab here so you don't undo your buckle by accident. Yeah, and then you're gonna lift up, adjust your stirrup, and then you'll use your foot to get your stirrup back down. So that way you can have your reins, right? You could have your reins bridged like this. You only need one hand to do this. Takes practice though. All right, so we'll just get her walking. You're familiar with the ring rules, right? Walk on the inside track, not on the rail. So Leo, Mimic has had an extensive experience with 3-day eventing. Okay, she's done a lot of eventing, and as part of that, of course, she's done a lot of dressage. So the big thing today we're going to work on is just getting the right feeling for your bend and also for your canter shortening and lengthening, because of course with Blaze that's a lot harder because she doesn't have all those gears already in place, right? So we want to just give you the right feeling of what it should feel like so that you have a little more tools in your toolkit to work with your horse. So before you trot, just creep your reins a little bit shorter, right? Because as she goes to trot, her neck's going to shorten up, and then your reins will feel too long, and you'll have that moment where you're disconnected from her. So you want to make sure in the walk, you've shortened up your reins, you've kept your leg on, so then when you pick up the trot, you don't have to shorten them again. Okay, so even here, I'd say your reins are a bit too long. Good. Okay, so think about where you're going to send her and send her into working trot. Now, Leo, that's awesome. Can you see that she's looking to the right? You can see her inside eye there. Right? So on a circle in correct bend, which we call true bend, right? True bend means the horse is looking to the direction of travel. and that she's got that curve from her hind end all the way through her body, all the way to the bit, right? So basically her entire spine is on the curve, right? From her tailbone to up between her ears, her pole. So this is Mimic's easy side for the bend, okay? So she gives you the right bend pretty nicely here. And when you're on that circle again, you should be able just to see her inside eyelashes, her inside nostril. That's right, so it's clear that she's looking ahead of herself. Now right now, for a trained horse, a schooled horse, your reins are still a little bit long, your contact is a little bit light and loose. Okay, so I want you to think about stretching up, keeping your leg closed, and feeling her mouth. Okay, so the feeling is a little bit like you're picking a wheelbarrow up and sending it forward, okay? Your legs are sending her into your hand. You've got a little bit of weight in your hand, but it's not from pulling back, it's from closing your leg and sending her into the hand. Okay? So here I want to see your hands more upright, your thumbs on top. Good. Good. And let's see sitting trot. Keeping your body stretched tall. And think about relaxing your legs down and back. Okay, so right now, Leo, the leg is getting a little bit out in front of you. Okay, think about knees bent. Heels under your hips. Good. Try to keep your chest and stomach up. Good. And now rising trot and get a little bit stronger trot. Okay, send her on. Hands upright. Feeling both corners of her mouth and push her forward into your hand. Push her forward. It's also, you can imagine, it's like you're squeezing the toothpaste up, but you're keeping the cap on, okay? So all the toothpaste is getting pushed forward. That's the same with her, right? Her engine's in the back end. You want to send that energy up forward, but not let it squirt out the front. Okay? So right now your hands are kind of loose and floppy and leaving her alone. If she was 4 years old, that would be perfect. Okay, but she's trained, right? She's got some education. She's been through university already. She's had a show career already. Okay, so you can ride her like like a strong rider would, with a good leg and a good feeling hand. It's not about being tight on her mouth, but it's about receiving that energy into your hand. So rhythm is first. Okay, and you've got a pretty consistent rhythm here. It's just a little bit slow, a little bit underwhelming. That's right. Good. Good, and now try sinking down a few steps of walk. Keep your knees bent. Yeah, and walk. Good. Now when you go for the walk there, Leo, try not to tip your tailbone under, okay? You want to sit down but sit neutral. So your body finds the saddle and sinks in and around her without leaning behind her. Okay, so let's do that again. Working trot forward. Good, remember, hands up, forearms straight. So if you look at me, elbows to hands to bit, all in one line. So here you can just lift your forearms up a little bit like this. So you're keeping your elbows bent. That's right. Like you've got helium balloons attached to your wrists. That's right. So elbows are relaxed and bent. Wrists come up. That's right. Okay, so that what we're after here is to get a straight line to her mouth. So you've got the easiest, most clear connection to the rein that you can. So again here, this trot's a little slow, a little underwhelming. There, big difference. Good, now try to get that trot without posting fast or hard, okay? Get it from your leg. Good, and just double check your posting diagonal there. Did you notice on your last video you were on the wrong diagonal quite a bit? All right. So that's an easy fix, right? It's just you've got to mentally have that checklist that when you go to trot that you check that, and then you make sure when your horse trips or blows their nose or does anything that changes their rhythm for a moment, you just have to check your diagonal again. Good, now let's add in a smaller circle here in front of me. Hands up over her shoulder blades. And circle again. Did you feel you lost a little oomph? That's right. Good, and back to your big circle. So when we ask our horses to do a smaller circle, we're asking them to bend their joints more, right? They've got to bend those hocks more to make that turn happen. And of course, that's harder work. Okay, it's harder work for them, just like with people when we do squats or lunges in the gym. It's a lot harder to use those muscles down here, right? They start burning a little bit. So with our horses, when we do a smaller circle, you've got to keep their engine working, right? You want to keep that nice rhythm momentum that you have from your circle. You'll need to increase your leg a little bit as you go to the smaller circle. So here, make sure you like your trot. You've got that good beat. Good, now circle small, keep the leg. Send her around, lower leg back on her belly. Because she's got such a big rib cage, a lot of riders find their legs slip forward on her. You need to really remind yourself about keeping your lower leg back and on. Good. Next circle, Leo, I want you to come over these trot pulls. So here, hands up, chest up, legs down and back, right? So all of your body is about tallness, long legs, and then you can be strong and clear. Good, looking to the right, keeping that good right bend. Just be careful, Leo, that your hands don't start to flop over, right? You want closed fingers, thumbs pointing where you're going, and hands staying up over her shoulder blades. Trot pulls again. Make sure you're looking up and ahead of yourself. Heel down. There was good, okay? Good, that was her mistake. You were actually more clear in your body there. And I like this trot much better. Small circle again. Energy around the turn. Good job not to pull on your inside rein to turn. You feel she's tuned into where you're looking, right? So it doesn't take much rein at all. Looking for your pulls. Yes. Good, awesome. Much better. Okay, let's do a change of direction. Maybe you can half circle back onto the left. Remember your energy, right? Don't let her get slow through the turn. Good, new inside leg, pressing her out. Oh, now I didn't notice this on the other side, but your inside rein's really twisted. Can you take those twists out of it? I know a lot of this sounds like nitpicky details, okay, but all of this stuff is just about more clear communication, right? Twisted reins, hands the wrong height, all those things just help to, it's like having static, okay? Having fuzziness, like when you're trying to have a conversation with someone and you can't hear them, the phone keeps cutting in and out, okay? We want to just have a really clear line of communication open. Okay, now make sure your reins are flipped over, the loop's in front of you. Very good, perfect. Good, and then again, feeling her mouth. Now there you've got good left bend, and this is her stiffer side. Good, just make sure you're clear about where your circle is going so it stays really round, right? No straight lines, no corners. So she's turning a little bit all the time. Now this leg is behaving very nicely on the inside, staying back on her belly, good. Good, in the next corner, let's do a small circle there before the trot pulls. Again, hands up, feel her mouth, press her around your inside leg, and turning her with outside leg and a little feel on the outside rein. Good, great job, Leon. You're keeping her looking left nicely. And that's just because you're riding with 2 legs and 2 reins and you're looking where she's going, right? On a trained horse, that's usually all it takes. Good, look for your trot pulls. Both sides, both hands. Okay, so we had a pretty wiggly approach there, right? And then you started trying to steer with your reins. Again, remember, you look, you keep your legs there, you keep your hands over her shoulder blades. That's all you need. Good. Good, super. And now sitting trot circle, small, 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 circle in front of me. Good, outside leg there to help her if she's a little bit drifting past the turn. Good, and go back to your big circle outside the trot poles now. We're gonna get ready to canter. Again, I wanna see closed fingers, thumbs on top. Shape of the circle is good there. Now let's go rising trot. We'll get a little more energy. She takes quite a bit of leg in the canter, okay, and especially to keep her cantering and keep a good quality of canter, you need quite a firm leg with her. And one of the signs if she wants to trot is her head will start to get low and then she'll break into the trot. Okay, and that was the same with Blaze. I saw that as well with Blaze. Okay, so preparation when you're ready to pick up your canter, strong leg up to canter, and then you're gonna keep a strong leg. Okay, now back to trot, stretch up. Yeah, and she's pretty bumpy, isn't she? Yeah. Okay, so the reason I brought you back to trot is when you asked for the canter, you posted into it. Okay, so your body was trying to be helpful, but that's actually not a good thing because then the trot gets fast and disorganized. So we want to have a packaged horse, an organized horse who can just step into the canter. Okay, this horse can go halt to canter, no problem. Okay, so you don't need to have any speed behind you. Okay, just a touch shorter reins here. Make sure you've got a nice feel of both rings of the bit. And this time I want to see you disciplined sitting into the canter. Way better. Good. Now feel her mouth, feel both sides of her. Try to wiggle your stirrup up more under your toes. Good. I know her canter's not very comfortable. Keep working at it. Stretch up tall. Wiggle that stirrup up again. And try to find a solid feel under your foot. Good for you. Lift your chest. Stretch your leg down. Make sure you're breathing, right? You've got to get used to this different horse, different canter. That's right. It's a very different feeling. Good. Now back to trot. Good. Keep yourself tall. Nice in your posting, Leo. Bump your stirrup forward. Perfect. Good adjustment. Okay, now reins are still a little loose and floppy here. Try to keep a feel of her mouth. Okay, have you ever held a bird or a gerbil or anything in your hands? Have you ever held like a bird or a gerbil or any kind of animal? No? No? Okay. Because sometimes I use that because when you're holding an animal, like a bird, for example, right? You have to hold them gently. You don't want to squish them, right? But you have to hold them firmly enough that they don't fly away, right? Or a gerbil will just wiggle out of your, or a hamster will just wiggle out of your hands, right? So you have to hold them firmly enough that they don't wiggle away. So what's happening with you is you're holding a little too light, okay? So hold your reins, just give them a little longer, and okay? Now I'm gonna be you and you're gonna be the horse, okay? So you just stay the same, okay? Now now don't pull too hard, because she's not pulling that hard, is she? No, okay. Now if this happens, she ends up having a lot of freedom to do what she wants, right? So I want you just to have a little feel, your fingers closed, and then when you need to, you can just squeeze both reins, okay? And you feel how when I do that, there's no jerk, right? It's just increasing the pressure, softening the pressure, increasing, softening. So now you be the rider and show me that. Yeah, good. And it could even be a little quicker than that, okay? So wait, give, okay? And with her, she tends to canter. She wants to get faster and faster. Sound familiar?
Yep.
Okay. So in order to keep a horse like this, that is like a snowball bouncing down a hill, wants to get faster and faster, you're going to have to keep the cap on the toothpaste, right? Keep her together. Don't let her squirt out the front. So that's where that sponging comes in, right? You already have a feel of her mouth. Your leg is already there saying, yes, I want you to canter. And then your fingers, right, closing into your palm like this. Just go wait, wait. Canter, but only this much, right? Canter, but only this much. Okay? So let's see if we can do that canter again and keep her a little slower. That's going to take strong legs so she doesn't break to trot. And then feeling and working her mouth. Okay?
Should I just sit and then get back into it?
Yeah. In fact, why don't you do a walk to canter here, just because we've already done the trot one. Last transition was really good. So now you're going to shorten up your reins. Make sure she's looking left. Make sure that your body doesn't move at all into the canter, right? Disciplined body. Heels down. Reins need to be about 2 inches shorter. Good. Now put your outside leg back and both sides squish her up to canter.
Oh, I don't remember it being loose. Oh, it probably was on the inside of the snap and it's not.
Thank you. Now think about where your circle's going. Can you feel your reins are a little bit long now that she's cantering? Good adjustment. Now hands up over her shoulder blades. Stretch up. Now do those little squeezes and releases on the reins. Wait, 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 wait. See how small you can make her steps. Looking up, Leo. Wait, 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 wait. If you would lift your hands off her neck, I would be really happy. It's going to work much better. That's right. So then your fingertips are going to squeeze into your elbows, right? Wait. Use your whole lower arm. That's right. So it's not a rough move. It's just about sensitivity, feeling and releasing on her mouth. There you got a good reaction. Close your fingers. That's right. Good. Now show me a walk transition. That's okay. So let's try a canter to walk. Now I look at your fingers, they're like this. Close them up. Close them up. Make a fist. Yep. Good. We're going to go walk, canter, walk. See how slow and short you can make her canter, right? You want her to canter like this. Okay, not like she's rolling down a hill. This is hard. This takes a lot of coordination from the rider. Okay, make sure she's looking left. Preparation canter. Arms are too straight right now, Leo. Bend your elbows. That's right. Let's try again. Transition walk. Good. Make sure your upper arm is by your vest. Elbows by your hips. Yeah, good. Flip that loop over. Flip your loop forward, like that. Yeah. Good. Now stay stretched tall. Good with your arms. Keep that. Keep some bend in your elbows. Fingers closed. Left leg for left bend. Left leg and canter. Awesome. Feel how she looked left right away. Good work, sir. All right. Keep her looking left. Now sit quiet, right? She doesn't need any encouragement from your seat. She's already got lots of gas in the tank. That's right. Push her out. Think about your left bend around your left leg. Short, short steps. Short, 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 short. Good, Leo. Good, Leo. Yes. Little leg so she doesn't break, but push her circle out, right? She's trying to take shortcuts here. Belly out. Good. Feel that? Just like a leg yield. Good for you. Now prepare your walk transition. Okay. Prepare your walk transition. That's all right. So when you go to the walk, what muscle groups are you using? Stomach, good. Yeah, what else?
Legs?
Legs, okay, what part of your leg?
Right here.
Okay, good. So this part is resisting a little bit. Stomach is resisting, lower back as well, okay? But then of course your calf needs to hug around her to encourage her to still keep some forward into the walk, right? So you're resisting so that, like instead of going with the canter, you're saying, okay, and now we're doing something different, we're coming back, right? But then the lower leg is still there to send her on into the trot, or the walk, sorry. Okay, now I think the preparation piece is really important here. Okay, so if you think, okay, I'm cantering and I'm walking, not gonna work, right? She's gonna fight you, she's gonna be against your hands. So you need to be cantering, and then you think, okay, canter, shorter, shorter, and walk. So that whole time my abs are tightening up, I'm sitting deep in the saddle, and I'm asking her to squish her body back together. Okay? Hard work, let's try that again. She always looks at me funny. What, Mama? She's like, what are you talking about? I was doing it perfect. So deep leg, heel down. Yeah, walk to canter to walk. Make sure you've got your left bend. She's pretty awake, right? So you don't need a huge amount of leg. You just need preparation and ask. She's ready to listen. Yeah. Left flexion. Make sure she's looking left. That's right. Oh, she's getting ready. Good. Now start to shorten her up. Together, 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 together. And walk. Ah, Leo, so much better. Much better, huh? Now it can be that much better again, okay? We're gonna try it again. Good for you. Really think about the shortening her up before you ask. Okay? And remember, you're staying here into the walk, okay? Tight abs, tight lower back. Good. Reins again.
That's Tony. Can I put him out?
Yeah. Yes, please. I didn't know he was in. Is he cast? Okay, ready? So she's got to be looking left first. So look at, can you see her inside eye easily, or are you seeing just bridle? There you go. Shouldn't need to kick her. Let's try that again. Sink in and walk. If you have her attention, you should not need to kick, okay? And that goes for any trained horse. So think about where she's looking. Think about the shape, right? You want her ribs out. Good, good catch. Ask her to look. You look left. Preparation, outside leg back, and squeeze to canter. No movement in your body. Make sure she's looking left, though. Good, good. When you're ready. Good. Leo, I still think you can do less, okay? You're kind of pushing your body to try to get her to go. You don't need to. She's a hot tamale, right? She doesn't need a lot of fuel added to the fire. Let's try again. I want you to try to do nothing up there except your outside leg back and squeeze. Nothing else happens. Bum doesn't move, body doesn't move, okay? All you're doing is, like imagine you're on a ball, on an exercise ball, okay? Outside leg would come back and you'd squish the ball. That's all that's happening. Okay? Good, good. Shorten up those reins. Right? You're probably used to having to encourage Blaze a lot more to get the canter. With her, you just have to say, are you ready? And she says, yes, I am, right? So you don't have to ask very hard. Good. Sit absolutely quiet. Ask her to look left. Beautiful. Much better. So there you were sort of 90% quieter that time, and you got a quieter, happier horse out of it. Good for you, Leo. Okay, preparation, shorten, with leg, shorten, and walk. Good, good. Okay, let's give her a pat. Excellent. We're going to run out of time here, so we're just going to jump a couple jumps just so you feel a different horse. Okay, mostly what I wanted to work on with you today is some ability to shorten. Okay, and that's going to take a longer time, right? It's not going to happen all in one lesson. And it takes that coordination of your aids, right? Keeping that energy, but starting to package it up. I know what we wanted to do. Let's do one canter to halt before we jump. Okay, so let's go onto the right rein. And we're going to just do a canter to a halt. You don't need to lean back. You don't need to be rough up there at all. You're just going to think about closing everything up, right? Sinking down and tightening everything up, keeping a firm feel on the reins, resisting your body, and she'll come right back. Okay, so let's go shorter reins, walk to canter. So I always say the words in my head too. It's a little bit like lunging. If you hear people lunging, right? They would say, and canter, or Trot, right? I always kind of say that in my head because I think it gives our bodies the right idea. And it's the same thing into the halt. You're going to be cantering, ready, and halt. Okay? So you can say that in your head, and your body is going to help her to feel that. Good. Yeah, you betcha. Look right. Good, quiet body. That was okay. You just needed to stay sitting and keep the leg there. She was ready to go for you. But when she felt your seat leave, she thought you were posting and wanted her to trot. Okay, preparation, outside leg back, and squish to canter. Perfect, Leo. Good, quiet body that time. Good. Okay, now you are going to prepare and halt. Halt. Bend your elbows. Good. Give her a little pat. Yes, she always looks at me. She says, did I do that right? What a funny girl. Okay, good. Let's just come off the left, and we're going to come jump over this, just trotting in through the middle like you did when you had the poles there. And we're going to trot over and then halt on a straight line. Okay, so because you're halting facing the wall, it's a good reminder about making sure your shoulders are back when you halt. Okay, I say that because I've had one student whose horse didn't stop and they went right into the wall. Okay, very, very scary for everybody. Luckily she was fine. Okay, but you need to land, stretch up, sink down, trot, walk, halt. Okay? Efficient. So trot, walk, halt. Okay? All right, off the left. And Ren, you can head down here because we'll get you up here pretty quick. Trotting, yes, thanks. So just rhythm. You probably need to do a circle first, right? Because she'll be in canter mode after all our canter work. See how she's getting ready to canter? Now make sure you've got your left bend. Your legs are steady and stable. Your posting is regular. Heads up to the cross rail there. Yep, this is looking more even. Make sure she's looking left. Little squeeze, release there if she wants to speed up, right? Say wait, wait. That's it. I'd like to see your reins a little bit shorter. I think she's got a little too much freedom right now. I don't think so. She's looking to the right. Okay, so we don't want her looking to the right when she's jumping a turn off the left. There. That's how I want you to approach this jump. Good, Leo. Yes, Leo, so much better. Quiet trotting. Now you can approach. Steady, steady. Halt. Okay. Good. So that's a typical mimic, if left to her own devices, kind of jump, right? So reins are a little bit light and soft, so she's got a lot of freedom there to jump the jump how she wants. So this is when I want you to come in with those squeezes on her mouth, waiting, waiting, waiting. Okay, you can wait right to the pole, okay, but it's squeeze, soften, both reins. Wait right to the pole, and then just quiet, quiet body, right? Because she doesn't need any encouragement, as you just felt. I'm really happy you still halted, okay, because you had a lot of horse there. So we want to trot in quieter, keep her quiet to the pole, and then land and halt, and this time stick to your straight line. Okay? Good, yeah, come again. Make sure she's looking left. Talk to her a little bit here, slow. Squeeze and release, slow. Good. Good. This looks good here. Next time you can go to the jump. Slow. And slow, right? Always thinking quiet. Keep a squeeze on the reins. Squeeze, squeeze. Good work, sir. Beautiful. Give her a big pat. What a difference. Awesome job. Now, if you had pulled steady all the way here, she would be able to just lean and run through the bit, and she still would have done the same thing. Because you were moving the bit in her mouth, it kept her, first of all, listening to you because it was changing, and secondly, she didn't get that chance where you were pulling and she could pull. Okay? So that was beautiful, and then you felt she still wanted to go, didn't she? But you were right on top of it, asking her to wait, and then that was so much better. Good, let's do one more like that. Excellent. I guess Leo's getting the longer lesson this time because you did last time, eh? I was so sure I would be right on time. Good, slow and steady, steady.
Go this way or next way?
Up to you. Yeah, good call. Right, make sure she's looking left, Leo. I know that sounds simplistic, but if she's looking right, she's leaning into your inside aids and she's not going to be organized and square to her fence. So yes, there you go. Now slow her down at the same time. And keep that communication with her, right? Keep moving the bit. Whoa. Good for you. Good, and give her a little pat. Excellent. Okay, we're gonna get your brother up there. Oh, Mimic, you spicy girl.